Good morning. It's Sunday, June 28th. And I want to commend President Trump and all of the governors in all of the states that chose not to enforce social distancing and having people wear masks, because we have now achieved a record number of COVID-19 cases, over 40,000 in one day. We have now become one of the leading countries in this illness, in the non-prevention of COVID-19. You got that? The non-prevention. We are leading. We are leading in ill preparedness and not being able to control our citizenry. We have people in this country fighting for their civil rights. The civil right of not to wear a mask. They don't want to wear masks. They don't believe in science. They don't believe in our leading epidemiologists telling them what to do. They are following Donald Trump down the road to hell. When are these people going to learn that this is a serious problem? In Florida, the young are getting sick. The median age has fallen to 35 for the COVID-19 infections. In North Carolina, some sheriffs are refusing to enforce the mask-wearing mandate. And experts are starting to say that the second wave will be worse than this first wave. And in Europe, they're planning to open up all the countries on July 1st and allow other countries to travel to Europe, but not the U.S. The U.S. is not going to get an invitation. They are probably going to be banned. Citizens from the United States will be banned from going to Europe because of our handling of this pandemic. So is America becoming great again? I don't think so. So I view this ban, this travel ban that's being put upon us by the European Union, is a blow to our prestige in this world. And I am hoping that some of our politicians, some of our leaders understand that this is a repudiation of President Trump's handling of the virus. And it's a repudiation of the way all of you have followed him down the road to hell. We as Americans should be ashamed of ourselves, of our performance in this crisis. We should be leading the world, and what we've done is lead the world in ineptitude. And it's unfair to compare us to all the countries in the world, because we're all very different. You know, Denmark and South Korea, they have smaller populations. They don't have a diverse population like we do. And they certainly are not politically polarized like we are. And our system of government, which is the federalist system, which splits up a lot of the responsibilities between the states and the federal government, is not working all that well in a polarized environment. So I think it's unfair to compare us to every country in the world. But it's certainly fair for us to compare us to the European Union, which has almost the same size population as we do. I think they're about 50 million more than us, or maybe 100 million more than us. And they have many different ethnicities and nationalities. But the one thing they seem to have was a political system that was willing to control the population better than we are willing to control our population. If you look back at the pattern of COVID-19 infections and the spread, the numbers between Europe and the United States were very similar, and the patterns were very, very similar. But when June rolled around and we started opening up states to one degree or another, and the residents started easing up on the social distancing and the wearing of the masks, our average daily thing started to tick up modestly, and then with increasing speed, rising more than 32% in the last week alone. Now, in this new onslaught, states like New York and Connecticut and Massachusetts and Illinois, which had a high percentage of the infections early on and were very strict in maintaining social distancing and the masks, they were not affected by this last wave. This wave has struck at Texas and Florida and South Carolina and Oregon. It affected people who were not being locked down, who resisted lockdown, and now it's affecting them. And the thing is, the interesting thing about this thing is it runs along the polarization of the country. The states that were locked down and hardest hit were Democratic primarily, and this new wave is hitting Republican states. And in Republican states, the percentage of people that believe they should wear a mask is about 30%, whereas in the Democratic states, it's about 80%. Now, that's a reflection on the leadership in this country. And the leadership in this country right now is Republican. And you know who the lead Republican is. The point here is not that this virus jumped up. The point is that we abandoned the lockdown too soon. And it's time for our leader to step forward and say, we made a mistake. But instead of doing that, he's gone ahead and he's trying to stop testing because the numbers make him look bad. He doesn't have to say, I made a mistake. That would be unconscionable. He shall say, we made a mistake, and we now have to enforce a lockdown to get ourselves back to where we were at the end of May when everything was smoothing out. Because we have gotten lax. And this laxness has caused this surge. Do you really believe that our president is going to stand up and say that? I doubt it. I really doubt that. He's going to continue telling the world what a great job the United States has done under his leadership. He will make some statistical remarks that are far from the truth. And the world is going to isolate us because of the way we handle this thing and the situation we are now in. So I'm tired of this topic right now, and I'll quit before I upset too many people.